Hello, I'm back again. I still cannot be in front of a camera and not be awkward, but I'm awkward everywhere I go too, so gotta get used to this. Anyways, so I'm back here to talk to you about astrology. So a lot of people have come to me because they want to learn more about astrology, and as some of you know, I study it and I'm really into it and everything. So one thing I want to say is that people always think astrology is supposed to tell you who you are or who you're supposed to be, and people think like, oh, you're letting the stars control you and you're letting the signs control you. No. Okay, first of all, astrology is not supposed to justify your actions. Astrology is not supposed to tell you who you're supposed to be. Astrology just it's kind of like a guide, okay? It tells you the potential you have. It gives you options, okay? There's free will. It's up to you to make the decisions you make in your life. Whatever the reasoning, it's all up to you, okay? How you make those decisions and why you do can probably be explained through astrology. And it's accurate most of the time. In astrology, it's not just, oh, you're an Aquarius, oh, you're Virgo, oh, you're Sagittarius, oh, you're this, you're that, so that's all you are. No, there are so many factors that go into what shapes someone's personality, the environment, personality, everything. But when it comes to astrology, there's this thing called a birth chart, okay? I'm not gonna tell you guys every little thing about what a birth chart is. This video would take hours. It took me 8 hours to tutor my niece in astrology, and I was just touching on everything, but just a little bit, not in depth. So I'm not gonna teach you guys all that stuff. I do want to go over some things that I think the general public should know, because people are trying to judge something they don't know enough about. I do want to help my friends. I do like to teach it and I do like to talk about it, but I cannot do it all for you. I will give you the basics, but from there on, you gotta look into it more, because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of stuff to talk about, and I can help you and I can describe stuff to you, but I cannot be doing it all for you. That's just a lot, okay? I don't have that kind of energy. I don't have that kind of time. And there's this thing called astrological harassment, right? I'm not an astrologer though, so I don't know if it applies to me. Still, it's a lot of work. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is elements, okay? So there are 3 signs in each element, okay? Fire, earth, air, and water. The 3 signs in fire are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So fire typically describes people who are energetic, enthusiastic, outgoing, very strong-willed, and usually you can notice these people right away at a party, because they're usually the louder ones. They're the party kind of people. If something doesn't describe you, that's because we haven't talked about the birth chart, okay? But these are just sun signs, so it's very general, okay? So that was fire. Now the earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Earth signs are typically described as practical, realistic. They're not too comfortable with change. They're not as adventurous as a fire sign would be, basically. The air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Those signs are typically known to be the most social signs, most intellectual signs. Not that they're the smartest of all the signs, but they use their mind a lot. They're very realistic as well, but they don't daydream. They're not into emotions. They're not like a water sign. And the water signs are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And water signs are typically described as being the emotional ones, very intuitive and very creative. And if you want to talk about compatibility, well, fire and air usually are the most compatible because they're the most social signs, and they're not very emotional, especially the air signs. They're not emotional at all. Fire signs can be very emotional, but not for a long period of time. Just last 5 minutes and they're over it. Earth signs and water signs are usually compatible because earth signs are very practical and stable and can handle the emotions of a water sign. And water and fire, they are usually not very compatible because water signs are very emotional, and fire signs, they love freedom, so they do not want to be tied down by all that emotion from a water sign. Earth signs and fire signs are not very compatible either, because earth signs are all about, being practical, being stable in life, being comfortable. Fire signs, it's not that they're not practical, but they have big dreams and they want to be adventurous and they want to go out there. So they're not going to let an earth sign stop them and slow them down and keep them in one spot for the rest of their lives, Air signs, they are also not very compatible with water signs, because air signs, again, they don't express emotions all too well. And water signs, they need that. They need those emotions. They need to talk about their feelings. They need all those kinds of things. Air signs and earth signs, they are not very compatible. They can be, but not too much, because air signs, they are also very social and outgoing, and earth signs, they're more of a homebody, so they are not going to be out there too much as much as an air sign would be, so that's why that wouldn't work. But again, this is just based off sun signs, okay? If you want to get more in depth about your personality, you have to talk about your 3 main placements: your sun sign, which is the day you were born, your moon sign, and your rising sign. That is determined with the time you were born and the place you were born. By place, I mean the city and the state, wherever you were born in the world. You need to know the exact time and place you were born if you want to figure out your birth chart. Now, your sun sign is who you are at your core. Your moon sign is how you express yourself emotionally and your instincts and your habits. Your rising sign is how you present yourself to the world. So, for example, a metaphor, there's a house, okay? You walk up to a house. The first thing you see is the front door and the outside of the house. That would be your rising sign. It's how you come off to people the first 5 minutes you meet them, when you say hi, when you have a 5-minute conversation with them. That's how you come off as, okay? When you get into the house, you see the main part. You see the core of the house. That's your sun sign, okay? And your moon sign would be one of the bedrooms, which is one of the planets. Now I'm going to get into planets. So there are 5 generational planets and 5 personal planets. The personal planets are much more unique to you. So for example, Mercury. My Mercury sign is Capricorn, so that would be one of the bedrooms. Mercury is a planet of communication. So Mercury would describe how you communicate with people, how you react to people. Your Venus sign would be another bedroom. So that would be another part of your personality. And Venus is a planet of love, and basically that's it. But yeah, my Venus is in Sagittarius, so that would describe how I am in like my relationships or with love, or the type of people I'm usually attracted to, or what I like in a significant other. Mars is the planet of aggression, and where you strive to achieve your goals in life, and like how determined you are in your life, and motivation and all that. Those would be the 5 personal planets, and the signs in those planets describe you better than generational planets. The generational planets are Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. There's one more. What's the last one? I'll figure it out. Pretty sure I said them all. Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. Saturn. I'll just read it from here. Jupiter. Well, how can I forget Jupiter? Okay, Jupiter. Those are the 5 generational planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Now, like I said, they're generational. So anyone basically born in your generation has all those same placements, except they're in different places in your birth chart. So I'm not going to get into the details of that. Just focus, when you want to like learn a lot more about someone, just focus on the 5 personal planets. And when you first meet someone, you might want to figure out their first 3 planets, sun, moon, and rising. And all these factors is what makes up somebody. These factors plus the environment you were raised in and the life you live, and your birth chart reflects those things. So for example, my birth chart said 2 things that really stood out to me. One, it said that I would have problems with my teeth. Now, you can't really see right away that I have problems. The only way you'll know is if I tell you what's going on. It costs a lot of money. I'm in debt. But anyways, problems with my teeth. I had braces in high school. I had surgery in high school, teeth related. And it's nothing like contagious, don't worry. Genetics. Anyways. But my birth chart reflected things that happened in my life. I can't control what happens to like my teeth. Like I can't control my genetics. See, so like I said, free will does play a part, but your birth chart will reflect things that did happen in your life. Another thing that my birth chart tells me is that I grew up in a strict household and that I lost one of my parents, or one of my parents left when I was younger. My mom raised me, strict household. And my dad, I mean, he's still in my life, but he didn't raise me. He wasn't there my entire life, so left at childhood. See, I didn't have control over those things. Again, your birth chart will reflect a lot of the things that happened in your life. But again, you make all the decisions you make because you wanted to, because of free will, and how you do it is probably reflected in your birth chart. And all these signs, they're not telling you who you're supposed to be. It just tells you the potential you have. So if it tells you you're a determined person, but you feel lazy and everything, you have the potential to be someone great. If it tells you that you're a lazy person and you know you're lazy, it's up to you to change that. So don't be lazy. So that's all I really wanted to talk about when it came to astrology. If you want more details, I will drop some resources in the description below. Some apps that I think are very important for beginners to download. Some websites you guys could check out. Again, if you guys need any help in figuring out your birth chart or anything, I'll help you. I just cannot do it all for you. Please download those apps, do it yourself, and I'll describe to you in more detail some things, but it's a lot of work, okay? I'm too lazy to even check my own stuff sometimes, so thank you for watching this video. I appreciate that you guys are still here. I got less views on my last video, so I didn't appreciate that. Okay, so keep up. I promised that I'd show a dog in each one of my videos, so I'll be right back. Okay, this is Yuki. She's Sagittarius like me, so she's very adventurous. She's the craziest of my dogs. She doesn't care about anything. She doesn't care what she eats. She'll eat anything. Another thing we share in common, except I don't eat vegetables. And she doesn't either. But does she? Anyways. So again, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you another time. Bye!